Hello, my friend. I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to talk real quick about this group of intellectual people that Eric Weinstein, who works for Peter Thiel, by the way, very bright guy. I think he was the one who coined the term intellectual pop web. I'm sorry. Intellectual dark web. About the Sam Harris types and the Jordan Peterson types and all these people, Brett Weinstein. These folks having these conversations on the interwebs, on their podcasts, with their Patreons and their YouTube channels. Serious intellectuals who talk about serious things, sciencey things, political things. They wade into the culture wars. They discuss ominous issues of survival. They discuss existential risks. They discuss other intellectuals that aren't part of the intellectual pop web. I mean intellectual dark web. People like Nassim Taleb, and so on and so forth. They have guests on who sometimes I wonder why they're talking to this person over here, because this person over here seems out of this person's league, but then I look at this person's numbers on their YouTube channel and then I understand why this person wants to talk to that person, because in a world of commoditized, really good ideas and great conversations, and I am sincere when I say that, because I've learned a lot from these conversations, and from reading some of these people's books, and so on and so forth, that I'm thankful that they're out there having these conversations. But at the same time, when you're a business consultant or a corporate trainer, your ideas, how you frame them, your acronyms, your language, updated from Aristotle or Socrates or Marcus Aurelius or Adam Smith or John Stuart Mill or Foucault, Derrida. And mind you, if you read anything, if you're a reader of Marx, that doesn't make you a Marxist. Just like Jesus wasn't a Christian, Buddha wasn't a Buddhist, Muhammad wasn't a Islamist. You can read these books, learn a lot from these various different kinds of people and not have to put a label on yourself, but that's another story. But I am concerned because Brett Weinstein and some of the other guys are talking about keeping the quality of the conversation up because they have to defend their intellectualism and their ideas. Because they are great thinkers and they do have a product that they are selling and they don't want people to mess with that. If you're in academia and you get booted out, it's a bummer. If you're in journalism and you get booted out, it's a bummer. But sometimes playing from the outside in today's world with our technologies and tools, it's better. You can play to your 1,000 true fans and build that up to 100,000, make a living and connect with different circles, different rapid prototypes of great ideas about how to push forward amidst all the challenges of our time. The experiments, the game B, all of the answers to the rivalrous, game theoretic, winner takes all, neoliberal madness. All of these things are there to be consumed and enjoyed and learned from. But I was thinking when I was wondering about these guys worrying about the quality of a conversation and who to let in, who to keep out, who to watch for, the trolls and the suckers and the thieves, and the spies, and the people who just don't talk in good faith. I was wondering to myself, who's going to bounce the doorkeeper? Who's going to watch the watchers? And then I thought, well, gee, we've had this mechanism for centuries, thousands of years, called ostracism, shaming. And in the world of online trolling and bullying, we have even more tools to do that kind of thing. We can just unfollow people or kick them out of the thread. But anyway, these people are sensitive, and I don't blame them, because they're trying to do good things, serious work. And I like these people. Jamie Wheel and Jordan Hall and Daniel Schmachtenberger, especially Daniel, because he communicates ideas and thinks like I think, but in such a more robust and better way, because his brain works better than mine does. He articulates well. He has a memory like a steel trap. He has nootropics. Got to subscribe to that if you want to be that smart. But anyway, most people don't spend glycogen on reading books or getting smart or getting wise. We're not really trying to become sages. We really don't care about wisdom. We care about emotion. The prefrontal cortex and thinking slow is just boring to us, really. The limbic system is much more fun and exciting. That's what we see in the world today. But who's going to bounce the doorman? That's what I wanted to ask you guys. How do we police this thing, the intellectual pop web? Sorry, the intellectual dark web. How do we protect these sensitive intellectuals from having people criticize their thoughts? Generally speaking, they're pretty damn good. I don't know why people would criticize their thoughts. But some of their thoughts are worthy of critique. But anyway, it happens when you're out there in the world of ideas. Yeah, well, it's a new commodity. And you got your 1,000 true fans, you go from there. You're going to be, a real player. Of course, the tough guys, the game A guys, they're going to kill you if you try to step up and lead. So there's never going to be any leadership here. Or they're going to ignore you, blackball you, scapegoat you, kick you out, ostracize you, ignore you, especially the MSM, mainstream media. Terrible tragedy. Anyway, I ramble as usual, and I'll stop now. I can't really type, so I ramble. Next time, I'll just keep it on one simple thing and go for 2 minutes. I'll learn how to do it. I'll teach myself. But next time I want to talk to you about this Stoicism workshop, Stoa Nova, that I attended via Zoom. That was awesome. For now, who's going to bounce the doorman? Who's going to watch the watchers in this intellectual pop web thing? I'm just going to say it, intellectual pop web. Where everybody's in the conversation. They're having the important conversation, but nobody's leading us anywhere. The shit show goes unabated with much, much larger audiences. While all of our really, really brightest minds, consultants, just think tank among one another and worry about, how do you say, unearnest, insincere people coming along and screwing up their projects. But I do like the what if, imagine that thing. What if we did it this way? Imagine that. Things would be fantastic. We'd be on the right track. We might even survive another 50 years as a species. We might still have birds in 2030. Insects that feed the birds complex ecosystems, beautiful rich soil, wonderful microbiomes, peaceful, wise, sagey minds that care about the collective, and yet you can still be a full-fledged, free agent individual with all of that wonderful individualistic stuff that just was born into you the day you came out of your mommy. Didn't have to learn it from anyone. Didn't have to parrot anything. Didn't have to repeat or didn't have to find role models to imitate. It's just there in you as an individual, a free thinker, a citizen, a patriot. Oh my God. Jeez. Oof. The world is weird, man. Mask wearing is political. Who's gonna bounce the doorman? So go watch those guys. Read some books. If you read Foucault or Derrida, it's not going to make you postmodern, man. It's just going to make you aware of what those guys, those thinkers were thinking and concerned about, writing about. If you read Marx, it's not going to make you a Marxist or a communist or even a socialist. It's just going to make you aware of what Marx was on about in the 19th century. And if you read another scholar's book who's a reader of Marx, that doesn't make him a Marxist, or you if you read it. So don't be afraid of these ideas. The far right's going to try to kill you if you get in their way, because they want to conserve the status quo, which is the best of all possible worlds. Obviously, take a look around. Or the far right's going to want to take you way, way out there on the edge of the earth, that flat earth where if you go too far, you sail right off the edge of it into oblivion, madness. All those extremes, these wonderful, wonderful excuses to be polarized. Nothing in between, just A and Z. It's really, really exciting. Gets that dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin just spinning away in the brain, doesn't it? You don't have to slow down and think about shit. Because the shit show gets you back up, gets you angry. Ain't nobody gonna make me wear a mask. Who's gonna bounce the doorman? Who's gonna protect the intellectual pop web, dark web from interlopers, trolls, fools, idiots? But wait a minute. If you have a lot of followers, if you're well funded, maybe I like you, even though I'm part of the intellectual pop web because, you know, you got viewers. I might be able to get some of those fence sitters to come across and join my Patreon. I've got important ideas. Join the conversation. Let's have that conversation. But maybe one of you normal people in that Dunbar number clique of 150 folks and 5 decent friends will step up and lead one another to doing something that's going to make a difference in this world. Yep, that's all you have to do. Wear a mask, social distance, wash your hands, and maybe spend a couple hours a week lobbying your representatives in local, state, or federal government. Instead of criticizing people that step up, like Yanis Varoufakis, why don't you look into the DM25 platform and see if these people who are stepping up and trying to do things across Europe in their communities are actually leaders, accomplished people who have done more than most, regardless of how many parallel universes there are. Doesn't hurt to learn from each other. Who's going to bounce the doorman? Who's going to watch the watchers? Who's going to police the dark web? The pop web. Take good care, people. Stay safe. William T. Out.